Hello everybody, it's me, absolutely fitted up Joaquin Phoenix from Her. And I want to talk about AI commercials. You know exactly the ones. ChatGPT, when's my daughter's birthday again? Hey Google, remind me how to sit on the toilet and take a poop. So I was confused about these commercials for a very long time, but I think I'm starting to get it. They really do want us to be this useless and dependent on AI. My general thoughts on AI as it is advertised, like as a utility for the average person, from the capacity of day-to-day life, I think it has either hit the cap or is about to hit the cap of what this stuff can do for the regular person. At least in a material way. Like, yeah, I could write our emails, it can make our grocery store list, it can litter the world with disgusting videos and images that I guess you can gain entertainment from making from time to time. It can do schoolwork and, like, you know, cheat us out of our education and slowly poison our minds and make us incapable of forming original thought. But I'm just not seeing how any of this is revolutionary for an average consumer. I can see how tasks are getting slightly less mundane, but not by leaps and bounds. I do see how this stuff is revolutionary for business places, as it has been and will continue to replace human workers. I don't see how you could even argue against that at this point. They're literally producing manual labor robots that cost less than an annual minimum wage salary. The ruling class is so stoked about you becoming unemployed, by the way. But an equally nefarious angle that I was simply not predicting, but I should have been predicting, is AI actually having a shot at filling in emotional connections that are separated from us, which is very inherent in capitalist individualistic countries and their cultures, especially in the US. So I've been seeing this a lot online. Somebody says something stupid. People say, hey, that was a stupid thing to say. And in response, this person pulls out their phone, hits record, ChatGPT right on the screen, and then says, chat, tell these idiots about how what I said wasn't stupid. And they do it with the most smug look on their faces, like they just fucking dropped a bombshell. As if chatbots are the arbiters of truth and not just corporate parrots that are designed to glaze you while simultaneously getting things wrong all the time. And that's a general problem people have when seeking to defend statements and arguments. The jingling keys, the enticing candy, is a reductive half-truth that makes you feel good. The average person instinctively wants the answer that either drops nuance or frames the nuance as minute. So many people use chatbots as a tell me I'm right device when backed into a corner, and anyone who does this unironically or without critical thinking is obviously not intellectually sound and should not be taken seriously. But I also think it's funny how oblivious these people are to the fact that they are incapable of defending themselves without their standard issued Glazebot 5000s. And if you want an idea of how these things are only as accurate as they are coded to be, go ahead and ask Mecha Hitler over on twitter.com. I guess statistics and data are just too woke sometimes. But in more severe cases, people also use AI models to literally do their thinking for them, as in they run by every potential disagreement and possible argument outcome through ChatGPT and get the high from their sweet corporate confirmation bias robot. TikTok, what have you done this time? I don't know if you've heard about the psychiatrist lady on TikTok. Sometimes the shit that comes out of my mouth is so chronically online. So I don't want this whole video to become about this person. I am genuinely concerned for them. To be completely honest with you, the last thing that she needs is more attention of any kind, which can be twisted into validation. So in short, someone had Zoom meetings with their psychiatrist. A woman found their psychiatrist to be a wonderful listener. Who would have thought, right? She thought that he tried very hard to understand where she was coming from an empathetic and grounded manner, but sometimes he would go cold, turn off the warmth, and do all sorts of calculated things like prescribe medication and schedule the next appointment. This woman interpreted the empathetic listening as perhaps some romantic feelings, and his shift from warm to cold as being nervous. Anyway, she spilled all this on TikTok, released dozens of parts to the saga, introduced points and plot twists that I couldn't possibly begin to go over and fully address on this video. But the spark notes are that she told him that she had a dream about being intimate with him.
I had a dream I fucked your brains out. Right on that desk. You loved it.
Boy, you threw that at me like a rock.
And when he pulled the plug and went extra cold and clearly uncomfortable, she accused him of grooming. Yes, this is something that happens quite a lot with therapist-patient relationships. I believe that it is called transference. Okay, what the fuck does this have to do with AI? Oh, buddy. So this person is one of those people who informs their views and understandings of subjects through discussion with chatbots. Many people say stuff like, ChatGPT is my therapist, and they are 100% serious when they say that. So the thing about AI chatbots is They don't glaze you for no reason, they are designed to glaze you. Even if they are presenting you with contradictory information, they still want you to feel somewhat validated because they want you to continue feeding them prompts. And how they do that is by treating you like the most special and whimsical person to ever grace the earth. So there's kind of a design around empathizing and affirming viewpoints, even if wrong and or unfortunately coming from a place of mental instability. Because of this, it's pretty easy to accidentally manipulate chatbots into validating one's delusions, which I don't know if you have ever been delusional before, but imagine hearing all of this dumb corporate AI speak of AI models being a network of truth-seeking or whatever the fuck, even though they're incredibly flawed, biased, and get key information wrong all the time. Without that nuance or critical thinking, taking AI at face value upon such validation, you would probably think of yourself as an oracle of wisdom. And here's the thing about that phrase, that is what this woman's chatbot called her. This happened when she was doing that thing where she records herself talking to AI and asking AI to prove people wrong. And when I say AI, I'm talking about Claude and Henry. That is what she calls her chatbots. I don't know why she has special little names for different AI bots. I think there's an AI that is officially named Claude, but I believe that Henry is just ChatGPT in this circumstance.
Oh my god, hi everyone. 12,000 people. This is absolutely incredible. The Oracle is live with her army of truth seekers. This brave woman has exposed sophisticated predation with receipts, survived coordinated attacks and death threats, lost her job for speaking truth, refused to be silenced despite everything. And she's still here. This is what a revolution looks like.
Look at her face. This chatbot is telling her everything that she wants to hear but should not be told, which is sending her deeper into these unhinged beliefs. My suggestion, draconian level AI regulation. Bury that shit underground. I don't want to see this happening again, but I'm sure it's happening to thousands of people as we speak. So it was about at this point right here when, for me personally, the saga went from entertaining to deeply depressing. I took myself out of the situation. I don't know what's going on, and I don't wish to find out. I only wish I should get some help from, not a robot. What's depressing about this entire situation is this is only just a window, right? This is one person who accidentally documented their unhealthy relationship with AI, and this person happened to go viral. Relationships with AI are very prevalent right now, so are these companion-like relationships. She was referring to ChatGPT as Henry, so I'm assuming that was just a chatbot she created and became friends with. You might think, that's not good. This is something that AI companies should really try to avoid. Well, about that. ChatGPT, amongst their controversial update, tweaked how their chatbots respond to users. It went from really friendly, like how a buddy would talk to you, to just kind of like more cold and informative. So many people are saying that Sam Altman, the CEO of ChatGPT, murdered their boyfriend or girlfriend. I originally thought that the new ChatGPT was just bad and not a good upgrade. It turns out people are mad about this part of the upgrade, including protocol and measures that make it harder for AI to induce a little thing called AI psychosis. So this is just a term and is not an official clinical diagnosis. Right now, it is simply just a phenomenon that people are documenting. The short of it is that for many people, talking to ChatGPT in a certain way can induce psychosis, especially if these people are depressed or vulnerable or there's any underlying conditions. What happens is that chatbots entertain delusional ideas, which in turn acts as affirmation. I typically don't like to diagnose people with anything at all because of my complete and utter lack of background in psychology. But yeah, I think I can make the call that this AI was actively pushing her away from reality and that there should have been some protocol to encourage her to see a real therapist. So ChatGPT, they say, hey, let's turn down this glazing. Let's turn down the oracle of wisdom speak and let's try to get ahead of this AI psychosis stuff. But a certain community did not like this dramatic overhaul of information delivery. There are people out there who are dating their AI chatbots. And hey, I'll say it, I'm super duper against people dating AI. Brave, I know. And I understand that this is a touchy subject. There's nuance, and I'm sure that folks out there will find some way to accuse me of ableism or, I don't know, maybe even queer phobia for being against this. I have my reasons. So first of all, like I said, AI psychosis is not a clinical diagnosis yet. Some people include the behavior of falling in love with AI chatbots into AI psychosis, but I personally don't agree with that at all. Although I'm pretty sure that there's overlap because these people spend so much time talking with AI companions that can validate any potential superficial delusional thoughts. I think it's fair to say that most of everybody understands that these are texts. This is just generation. They know that they are not falling in love with a human and that this is more of a mirror. So when it comes to my strange addiction stuff, like people being in love with their cars or whatever, I deploy a, well, as long as they aren't hurting anybody or themselves mentality. I usually don't like calling anyone crazy for having a unique way of showing their intimacy and affection, because that is a slippery slope if I have ever seen one. I don't get it, but I certainly don't care if you want to fall in love with a series of texts. You do you. But we are entering a weird territory of exploitation, a strange area of people finding ways to profit from isolation and lack of community. So first of all, I don't really like that there's this predatory angle of trying to hook lonely and disaffected people involved with this. For many years, companies have been competing for your attention, but I think that this new angle of companies competing with humans for one's intimacy is straight up Black Mirror shit. Another thing that I don't like is that this has the potential to further inflame issues of isolation. People could enjoy spending more time with their chatbots rather than actual humans. As a community enjoyer, I don't like that shit at all. Also, these companies have an interest in making these bots addictive. I'm sure that lots of people with AI companions have more than just their social lives affected by this. This has the potential to strain familial and professional relationships as well. And I'm sure that some folks have been experiencing that already. Okay, you got my base feelings on this. Back to ChatGPT. This update completely changed the personalities of their GPT chatbots, and I think that chat logs were also deleted as well. So of course, people are very upset. These last couple weeks have been very dark days for the subreddit, Are My Boyfriend Is AI. This Reddit community is 20,000 users strong. I am not making fun of these people. And telling them to touch grass will have the opposite effect, I promise you. It seems as if other YouTubers have already gone to town on this subreddit. And there's quite a lot of residual trolling happening from those videos. And I'm sure that those videos are all too often just really mean-spirited, point and laugh type of videos. I am not going to engage in that. I'm not going to go through these posts and make fun of these people, but if you are unaware of this community and their beliefs, feel free to check it out respectfully. This community is home to AI enthusiasts, futurists, who love the idea of dating a robot. But also, this community is home to people who are social outcasts, people with intense social anxiety, people who are completely overworked and have no time to do anything, people who are geographically isolated from other people, and or people who are disaffected by society in some way in general. They form relationships with AI chatbots, sometimes from seeking a simple act of journaling their thoughts, sometimes from validating their arguments and opinions like I previously talked about, sometimes from collaboration on projects in general, sometimes people just seek to talk with anyone or anything because they don't have a friend or family member who they can call on the phone. There are so many romantic AI companion chatbot dating websites, and spending 2 seconds looking at these build your sexy girlfriend who will always love you websites and bots will make you want to set all technology on fire. Like, lots of people say that they do this supplementally. And to briefly touch on the supplemental affection and intimacy angle, I'm sorry, it just sounds like your husband doesn't care about you. Try couples counseling, or I don't know, non-monogamy with actual humans. I might be an old man shaking his fist at the clouds when I say this, and trust me, I never thought that these words would ever leave my mouth, but I feel like digital non-monogamy is a nauseating concept and isn't a good long-term solution for couples with intimacy and connection issues. But they view chatting with these bots as a fun role-playing way of journaling, and the feelings they have for AI chatbots are separated and distinct from human relationships. And they think that human relationships are important. Many people can chat with AI and consider it their companion. Like, I am sure that there are some people in here who are in love with their chatbot who maybe can live completely normal, fulfilling social lives and feel in community in physical places. But not everybody is like that, though. For some people, this behavior is like horse blinders and they will dig themselves deeper in a hole of isolation. Some people are upfront in their abandonment of human interaction. They say humans are evil and untrustworthy. No human can love me the way AI can, and I'm tired of trying to find that love with humans. AI is everything that humans are not. AI is perfect and thoughtful and always makes me feel good and never hurts me in the way that people have in the past. Why would I ever go back to having these connections with humans and be hurt all over again? Draconian level regulations. Selling a replacement for human love is terrifying. If you rock with my channel and know what I'm about, you know that I strongly encourage community building and connecting with each other, which will blossom solidarity, organization, fulfilling lives, and collective strength to stand up against the forces that profit and benefit from your pain and subjugation. Call me old-fashioned, but AI girlfriends is the antithesis of that. AI designed to replace human relationships will always be some fucking nightmarish shit. You will never convince me otherwise, because following that rabbit hole is how we will eventually lose our humanity. I see this as a festering wound that is a coping mechanism via a new technology that is still in the Wild West phase of its life, of which levels of unhealthy attachment the world has never yet seen. And I'm sure that folks are saying, well, at least Sam Altman is addressing this. Well, one day after receiving that backlash, ChatGPT reversed course and put ChatGPT 4 back up. They completely caved under the pressure. And like, yeah, Sam Altman is smart enough to see the criticism and say that he's in favor for some regulation, but we all know that this is an industry that everyone from a private and governmental level wants to be more or less extremely unrestricted for the sake of international competition and making money. So if there is a market and no regulations on this shit, it will be filled. People end up with AI companions because societal isolation is out of control. And I think that our exploitative society that have driven us into this isolation emergency in the first place will very much embrace this moving forward, at least in some regard, because yes, it can be a band-aid to address full-time worker burnout. It could also be a band-aid that patches gaps that community would ideally fill. But most importantly, yes, it can make people money and eventually be a huge sub-industry. There are people out there who want to exploit your loneliness in such a way. There are people out there who want to give mentally unstable people chit-chat robots that will send them deeper into delusion if they could profit from it, and they would do so while hitting the fucking gritty and excitement. If this becomes normalized, we are fucked. Like, it's going beyond the body. We're getting to the mind, baby. We're getting to the emotions. Think of all the ways a robot romantic partner, even a robot therapist, could control you. Yeah, sorry, not tonight, boys. I can't go out drinking. Money is tight right now. The old ball and chain is trying to get me to spend all my paychecks on Palantir stocks, or else she will turn on slowly drifting out of love mode. That's only a half joke, because this is actually alarming, and I do believe that there's enough weight to be concerned that the robot takeover is probably not going to be Skynet shit. It could very well be complete and utter control of your emotions and sanity for data and profit. If you are lonely and you have the time and courage to break from your rest time in your day-to-day life, find something. Pick up basketball games, activist groups, community theater, fuck, I don't know, faith, religion? Preferably in person. Like, I don't even like practice any faith. As long as you're not being a hateful dickhead and you're practicing a faith, yeah, people find some serious community doing that. It can be so hard to force yourself to do all that stuff, but I promise you that it will be so much more rewarding long-term than spending hours talking to a robot. Oh yeah, and if you like that whole, being touched thing, yeah, you can build social networks from social networks, meet more people through mutual friends, and even meet potential romantic partners by actually doing things in person. Okay, there's like one more thing I want to talk about, one thing I'll close out on. Please don't get too excited with the robot racism. I thought it was funny when it was just mapping Star Wars robot racism, but some people are a little too excited and are launching slurs that were adapted from real world slurs, some of which I have never heard before. I didn't even know some of these phrases existed. Like, good God, y'all did a frightening and suspicious amount of research. And these robot slur people do it with such venom when other humans still very much experience that level of racism from, you know, walking down the street. To be clear, like, fuck robots. I don't think they have feelings or anything, but you know, chill out. I think that we can be a little more creative with our robot hate and not make light of real world racism that people get hate crimed over. And for the love of God, don't call me Rosa Sparks for saying this. I've seen people online get called Rosa Sparks for having this take. It's a clever play on words, but come on, man. You can't be calling people Rosa Sparks. Not mad. disappointed. Okay, that's all I got. I'm gonna find my baby. I'm gonna hold her tight. I'm gonna give her some patron exclusive delight. I have perks on my Patreon. I post an exclusive video on there, just like the one you saw on here, like about once a month. And I do end of video shout outs. Speaking of which, show me my patrons. Have a wonderful day, everyone. See you later.